walk us through one of the sites. And what it was a baby bear running from site to site, right down the middle. Just charging through all the sites, one after another. This bear, and we saw it just running through the sites. We didn't see Mama Bear,
No.
thank goodness, but I'd never seen that before.
There used to be a dock down where the pet run area is, just a small dock, and we used to fish off of that. And one of my first, I must have been 6 or 7 years old, I caught a fairly nice bass, and I didn't know what to do with it. My dad was up at the campsite, so we grabbed it like this and we carried it back to the campsite. It dropped 1,000 times. It was all full of sand and dirt, but yeah, that was one of my first fish I caught.
2 or 3 years ago, 2 years ago I guess it was, we had arrived, we went for a paddle on Grundy Lake, just for a little paddle across. We wanted to check out where the portage started into Beaver Lake. So we stopped there, found the portage sign and said, we'll come back another day. We were just backing out from the landing when there was a huge splash behind us, and the trumpeter swan had landed. We knew about his habits, so we quickly paddled back to the shore, jumped out of the canoe and ran up the trail behind some bushes. Well, the trumpeter swan didn't seem to be in a hurry to leave, so we decided to walk over to Beaver Lake on the portage and back to give the trumpeter swan time to leave. We got back half an hour later, all was quiet, hopped in our canoe, started to back out again. There was the swan hiding behind some bushes in the lake. Well, back to the landing. This time we grabbed our canoe, pulled it up the shore and around the bushes.
That was no fun.
What do we do next? So we decided that we would portage across to Beaver Lake, through 2 more portages to Paxstead Lake, paddled to the landing, left our canoe there and walked 40 minutes back to our campsite on Grundy Lake. We were pretty tired when we got back, but it was quite an adventure. And then later in the day, we drove back and rescued our canoe. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
'85, we got engaged in the park, and it's quite an interesting story of how we got engaged here. I always thought of an idea of a way of surprising my wife with her ring. So I put it in my pocket, kind of my pocket, and we went for a walk over to Grundy, over on the rock side, and I'm over there trying to get romantic and give her the ring, and here's my wife. I couldn't get her away from looking for frogs. I finally had to propose to her in the mud
As I was looking for frogs.
For
So he says, what are you doing for the next 50 or 60 years? Pulls out a ring, and I said, guess I'm coming back here with you. And that's how it was.
Here's a story about a romantic experience that I've had here. This winter, on Valentine's Day, I went out to Picnic Island. The lake was froze over, and my girlfriend and I went out to do some ice fishing. Little did she know that the fish that she brought up was actually an engagement ring. So when she brought it up, I proposed, and we ended up getting engaged in the park on February 14th, 2009. And it was certainly one of the most exciting days of my life, and hers, I think. And she caught probably the biggest fish she's ever going to catch.
children come and our grandchildren. And they never go a year without coming up here.
I'd recommend coming to Grundy for anybody.
Oh Grundy, it's such a beautiful place. Oh Grundy, it puts a smile on your face. I'll bring my kids here when I grow up. Oh Grundy, it's a great place to ride your bike. Oh Grundy, you can even tag your bike.